I peeped you from across the room. Pretty little body dancing like go, eh.
When you won't want me, when you won't want me, I'm in San Francisco, Jamie. When you won't want me, when you won't want me, I just flew from Miami.
Hey guys, I just got back from Spain last week. This video is going to be a rate and review on my experience with EF Ultimate Break, and I also wanted to share with you some of my videos and stories. If you're not familiar with EF Ultimate Break, they're a group travel company for 18 to 35-year-olds, and they have trips to destinations all across the globe. I like traveling with EF Ultimate Break because I am a solo traveler. I wouldn't have anyone to go with if it weren't for these trips, and I do like going with a group because I'm able to make new friends and it makes me feel safer knowing that I'm not alone in this experience. If you're looking to book a trip through EF Ultimate Break, use my code UAAARON100 for $100 off your first trip and book through the link in my description below. So, how was my trip? To sum it all up?
No sleep. Bus. Club. Another club. Another club. Plane. Next place. No sleep.
In all seriousness though, I did not get much sleep at all on this trip. That was a personal choice though. I definitely could have went to bed earlier some nights, but I chose to go out every night because the nightlife in Spain was amazing and I was only there for a short period of time, so I wanted to make the most of it. The nightlife was definitely a huge highlight of this trip for me. That was one of the reasons I booked this trip. I love to go out and party, and Spain has some of the best clubs in the world. Now, all of the clubbing and nightlife stuff that we did was not a part of the trip. We went off and did that by ourselves in small groups. So if you're not into partying, don't worry. You do not have to. They do not make you, and there are other people on these trips who are not into it as well. So there were about 30 people on this EF tour I just got back from. I would say that's typical, but it depends on the trip that you're doing and what time of year. The average age range for people on this tour was 23 to 28, and there were 26 girls and 4 boys. The group dynamic was really good on this trip. Some people came as solo travelers and other people came with friends, but we all got along and split off into little groups at points. Out of our big group of 30, we would go off and do stuff in groups of like 5 or 6. As a solo traveler, there's always this fear of like, what if I don't make any friends? What if people aren't interested in doing the things I'm interested in? But that has never been the case on an EF trip, at least not in my experience. There's always been someone to do something with, even if it's not in my typical friend group that I made on the tour. I'll go off with another group if they're interested in doing something I want to do, and that's the beauty of being a solo traveler. We did a lot of sightseeing as a group, so I'm going to show you all the cool places we went to. EF excursions that can be purchased for this trip are the Sangrada Familia, the paddleboarding lessons, and the cruise in Ibiza. Everyone who did not sign up for the Sangrada Familia tour regretted it, and the one tour that some people wish they didn't do was the paddleboarding lessons because it was kind of a mini workout. We had to carry the paddleboard from the place to the beach. It was only about a block away, but the paddleboards were like heavier than I thought they would be, and then the paddleboarding itself was a mini workout. So I enjoyed it, but it definitely wasn't for everyone. The Ibiza cruise, everyone signed up for that and everyone really liked that. So if you're booking this trip, I would definitely do that excursion. All of these excursions are an extra cost, but they are optional, so don't feel obligated to sign up for them if you don't want to. If you decide not to do an excursion, you'll just have free time to do whatever you want. Another major highlight of this trip was the food. My favorite was the paella, which is like Spanish rice, and you could get it with chicken, beef, or seafood. And my other favorite, which I got with like every meal, were called croquettes. It's hard for me to describe what a croquette is, but it's basically bread on the outside, and then on the inside it's filled with creamy chicken or creamy ham. The hotels that we stayed at were all pretty nice and clean. In Barcelona, it was actually really cool because we had our own rooms, which like never happens on a group trip like this, unless like you purchase it, of course. But we had our own rooms. We were staying in like a dorm type place, and it was small, but like we weren't in the room half the time. My room happened to have a great view, so I was super happy about that. I'm not gonna lie though, in Ibiza we were roughing it a little bit. We had 6 girls in one tiny room. Thankfully we all got along well and like took turns with the bathroom, but 6 people for one bathroom is pretty difficult, especially because we're all girls and trying to get ready, but we made it work and we weren't in the room too often. Our hotel in Valencia was super nice, and it was cool because there was only 2 people per room, which doesn't really happen unless you book an Ultimate Plus tour or unless you purchase the option of having 2 people per room. All my flights went well. I had 3 flights each way. I mean, they were long, but that's to be expected. I had no issues with my flights, but some people on my tour did. They had delays and they had to either arrive later the first night or very early the second day of our tour. You also have the option to book your own flights. You don't have to book your flights through EF. Overall, I think I would rate my trip a 9.2 out of 10. This trip is definitely going to be a hard one to beat. I love Spain and I can't wait to go back. I just love the Spanish culture. It's so different from ours, and I'm so happy I got to experience that. This trip had beautiful beaches, amazing food, all the people were friendly. Our tour guide was great too. He was always there to give us great recommendations, keep us on schedule, and give us directions to wherever we need it. There were 2 reasons I couldn't give this trip a full 10 stars, unfortunately. The hostel in Ibiza that we stayed at, it was kind of far from like Old Town Ibiza and where all the popular nightclubs are. Not like too far, but like a half an hour, so we had to like taxi over there. And also because of the room sizes, they were just too small for 6 people. The other reason is because I did feel like the trip was a little fast-paced. That's how EF tours are designed to be though, because you're supposed to see everything in a short amount of time and then go to the next city. But for me, I would like, if we slowed it down just like a little bit, that would be nice so I could like catch up on sleep or have more free time to eat. I'm so happy I went on this trip though. I wouldn't trade this experience for the world. I definitely think it was worth the price for everything that was included. The flights, hotels, transportation to and from places, not to mention the great recommendations. I linked my discount code below as well as some of my favorite places we went to in Spain, so be sure to check that out. If you have any questions or any other videos you'd like to see, feel free to message me on Instagram or comment below. Be sure to book your trip soon because EF is raising their prices. Thanks for watching!